What is going on, guys? Chris here, and hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. I am, and the topic of today's video is about Formula 1 2020, the game, not the season, because who knows when the season is going to start. We might as well talk about the game now, because I don't think it's going to be delayed. Cody's have actually confirmed that all 22 tracks will be in the game, despite Vietnam and Netherlands being postponed. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about some ideas that I think would make F1 2020 an even better game, so let's get straight into it. So my first idea for F1 2020 is that we should have classic tracks, and it's a feature that some have been requesting since classic cars returned in F1 2017. I believe in F1 2013 you could race in like Portugal and Imola, I believe. But I mean like classic tracks that you can race in Grand Prix mode, time trial, and maybe even implement them into career mode. And these classic tracks can include any, tracks that F1 has raced on throughout the years. Maybe we can have some from 2010s era, like Malaysia, Korea, India, pretty much those. Maybe we can go back to the NURBURGRING GP circuit, Imola, pretty much any circuit, any classic circuit would be amazing. Just imagine, modern F1 cars at the Korea circuit, maybe the Imola circuit, since they were supposed to go there 2017 and beyond. Maybe they go back to the Nürburgring GP. It would bring some variety and would be even cool to play with, modern F1 cars and classic F1 cars. And also another suggestion that would make tracks not feel boring is having maybe the old layouts of these tracks, like Bahrain, for example. In 2010 they raced on the endurance layout. Maybe the Hockenheim, if they somehow can implement the old Hockenheim ring into the game, that would be awesome, but probably can't. But it would be nice to see them try. And into my next idea, this goes with the tracks again, but my idea is that we should have track swaps. In last year's game, F1 2019, Codemasters implemented the driver swaps feature, and that was a big feature of that game, and it keeps me playing it. To give you an insight, Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo are at Mercedes now in my career mode. Kimi Räikkönen has went back to Ferrari, Vettel has went to Williams, and Hamilton, I'm not even sure where Hamilton is at the moment. But, driver swaps were a major success in F1 2019, and I think track swaps could be another great feature for F1 2020. And pretty much for track swaps, I mean say the Hockenheim ring switches out for the Nürburgring GP circuit as the German Grand Prix, or maybe the Spanish Grand Prix switches from Barcelona circuit to maybe the old Valencia street circuit, or goes back to Jerez. In F1 2019, it gets boring when you have to race the track over and over and over. And not only track swaps, we should also have calendar changes, like maybe Australia moves from the first race to the last race of the season like it did in the 80s and 90s. Maybe the United States Grand Prix goes after the Canadian Grand Prix like it did in the early 2000s. It could bring some variety and maybe even some surprise races, kind of like how driver swaps create some crazy ass swaps. So I think it'd be nice to see both track swaps and calendar changes in F1 2020. Another idea for F1 2020 is to have more classic cars, and obviously people want more classic cars, and I think this would be the right opportunity to put more in. Instead of having just like a 2007 Ferrari in there, we should try to get the 2007 McLaren because it was the fastest car on the grid, or maybe some more 2010 cars like maybe the 2012 Ferrari, or maybe even a 2010 Mercedes, because it would be nice to drive them. What I'm trying to say though is that we need more classic cars because it brings variety, and also it gets boring driving McLarens and Ferraris all the time, so pretty much we need some underdog cars and maybe some back market cars that looked good in those seasons. Another idea, which I think some people, or maybe most people, will agree with, is a scenario game mode. This should be able to give us the opportunity to remake history and relive history with some memorable moments, like maybe Jenson Button in the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix, or maybe charging through the field as Kimi Räikkönen in the 2005 Japanese Grand Prix. And maybe we should be able to rewrite some moments, maybe like as Fernando Alonso in the 2010 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where he got screwed over by Ferrari's tactics, Or maybe as Nico Rosberg and try to win either the 2014 or 2015 championship and change history so that Lewis doesn't dominate all the time. A scenario mode would be awesome because certainly it would hook me, and it would also be a good marketing tool for the F1 2020 game as well. Now my final idea is what many others want, a full-fledged Formula 2 career mode. F1 2019 was pretty much an experiment to have feeder series in the game, and it worked really well, but some people were disappointed that it was only like 3 or 4 races of the F2 series and not like a full-fledged F2 mode. So I think right now would be the great time to add a full-fledged Formula 2 career mode. And also this leads to my final idea, which is testing sessions with F1 teams. And this goes with the F2 career mode obviously, but like say you sign for the Ferrari Driver Academy for example, you'll get test sessions with Alfa Romeo, Haas, or even Ferrari in several practice sessions or maybe even private sessions. It would be nice to have the opportunity to test the F1 car before you leave to drive full-time for the team that you're going for, like maybe Red Bull for example, or Ferrari or Alfa Romeo, any team. So pretty much guys, that's going to be it for this video. Remember that this is my opinion, this is what I think will be great for F1 2020 and upcoming F1 games as well. But if you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and share this video as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe and goodbye.